Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to Al Munir High School e-learning system, class 6. This is your science lecture. Today we are going to discuss and learn unit number 6, and unit number 6 is about elements, mixtures and compounds. This is your amazing science book title page for class 6. Unit number is 6, elements, mixtures and compounds. What are elements, what are mixtures and what are the compounds? A cup of tea is a mixture. First of all, we will learn about atoms. What is atom? Yes, the word atom is derived from the Greek word atomos, which means indivisible. An ancient Greek philosopher named Democritus suggested that all matter is composed of tiny indivisible particles, and we call it atoms. So it is about the atom, or proper definition of atom. So it was ancient Greek philosopher named Democritus suggested that all matter is composed of tiny indivisible particles, and we call it atoms. Modern research has shown that atom is made up of tiny particles, and these tiny particles are electrons, protons and neutrons. So here we have an atom. This green one is the nucleus, and electrons are revolving around it. So an electron is a particle of the atom. It is negatively charged. कौन सा charge होता है electron पे? Negative charge होता है, and it revolves around the nucleus in a specific path. और ये अपने खास path के ऊपर nucleus के गिर्द revolve कर रहा होता है, and this path is called the orbit. Next, what is proton? A proton is positively charged particles. Yes, protons के ऊपर positive charge होता है, which is present in the nucleus of the atom. और protons nucleus के अंदर मौजूद होते हैं, and they have positive charge. Next, what are the neutrons? The neutron is a neutral particle. इस पे कोई charge नहीं होता. No positive, no negative. So neutrons are neutral particles which is found in the nucleus of the atom, और ये भी एटम के न्यूक्लियस के अंदर मौजूद होते हैं. इट हैज नो चार्ज. इट इज इक्वल इन mass to a proton. What is atomic number? We denote atomic number by Z. The number of protons in an atom is called its atomic number. So whatever the number of protons in any atom is called its atomic number. For example, an oxygen atom has 8 protons, so its atomic number is 8. Next, what is mass number? We represent mass number by capital A. The sum of the number of protons and neutrons in an atom is called its mass number, or atomic mass. So atomic mass is the sum of number of protons plus number of neutrons. For example, a carbon atom has 6 protons and 6 neutrons, so its mass number is 12. So we can say that 6 plus 6 protons plus 6 neutrons equal to 12. Mass number is 12. The atomic number and mass number of an atom is written so that where X is the name of the atom, A is the mass number and Z is the atomic number. So here we have the students, we have the carbon atom. Carbon atom have 6 protons, has 6 proton and has 6 neutrons in their nucleus, and 6 electrons are revolving around it. So we can easily represent that X is the carbon atom, A is the mass number, and here Z is the atomic number. So we can write it C, which shows the carbon atom, 12 is mass number, and 6 is its atomic number. This represents a carbon atom in which the atomic number is 6 and the mass number is 12. So students, it is very interesting to know about electrons, protons and neutrons and atoms. Next we have distribution of elements, electrons in an atom. Electrons in an atom revolve around the nucleus in definite paths called orbits or shells, namely K, L, M, N. The number of electrons in the K shell is 2, L shell is 8, in the M shell it is 18. So look here, we have this atom of sodium Na, we have K shell, yes, L and then M. In K shell we have 2 electrons, L have maximum 8 electrons, M have maximum 18 electrons and so on. The last or outermost shell cannot contain more than 8 electrons. For example, the number of electrons in a sodium atom is 11. The distribution of electrons is as 2 electrons in K, 8 electrons in L and 1 electron in the outermost shell M. So in this way, the distribution of electrons in an atom exists. Next, what are the elements? An element is a substance that is made up of atoms of the same kind. So this is the definition of element. An element is a substance that is made up of atoms of the same kind. For example, carbon is an element made up of carbon atoms. Oxygen is made up of oxygen atoms. Hydrogen is made up of hydrogen atom. So for 105 elements have been discovered. Elements can be divided into two groups, metals and non-metals. What are the metals? Here we have some characteristics of metals. They are good conductors of heat and electricity. They are shiny. They are mostly solid except mercury. They usually have high melting and boiling point. They can be drawn into wires. They can be beaten into foil and plates. Aluminium, silver, gold, copper, tin, lead are good examples of metals. Next we have non-metals. Non-metals have the following properties. Non-metals are poor conductors of heat and electricity. They are dull, not shiny. They are found in three states of matter: solid, liquid and gas. They have low melting and boiling points. They cannot be drawn into wires or beaten into foil and plates. Carbon, oxygen, iodine, sulfur are the very good examples of non-metals. Next students, we have the mixture. Yes, a mixture is not a pure substance. It is a mixture of many things. So it contains two or more substances which are not chemically combined. Each substance retains its own properties and the components can be separated easily. Yes. So it is a mixture. It contains two or more substances. For example, we have many examples of mixtures in our daily life. If you mix some sharbat in water, so it is also a mixture. Each substance remains its properties and the components can be separated easily. For example, when we mix salt and sugar are put together, they form a mixture. How many types of mixtures we have? We have different types of mixtures. Number one, liquid and gas. For example, soda water, which is a mixture of carbon dioxide and water. Liquid and solid, lemon juice and sugar are the mixture of liquid and solid. Water and vinegar, solid and solid. Copper and nickel are mixed to form metals from which coins are made. Gas and gas, for example, air is a mixture of many gases. Next we have solution. What is solution? A solution is a mixture in which a solid is dissolved into a liquid. The solid is called the solute, which is in a less amount, and liquid is called the solvent, which is in larger amount. For example, if we dissolve sugar in water, sugar is solute, which is less in amount, and water is the solvent, which is larger in amount. In a solution, the particles of the solute cannot be seen and the solution is clear. If a material cannot dissolve in a certain liquid, we say that it is soluble in that liquid. So sugar and salt both are soluble in water. If a material cannot be dissolved in a certain liquid, we say that it is insoluble. Like paint is soluble in turpentine and petrol, but it is insoluble in water. If we mix paint in water, it will not be solved in the water. It will be insoluble. And paint is soluble in petrol and other types of these types of solutes. Every liquid solution has three characteristics basically. The liquid is clear, the dissolved material will pass through any filter that the liquid will go through, the dissolved material stays evenly spread through all parts of the liquid. So these three characteristics every liquid solution has. Next, we have different kinds of solutions. Aqueous solution. Aqueous means water. Aqueous solution is a mixture of water and any other substance that is insoluble. For example, a solution of water and common salt or sugar. Dilute solution. A dilute solution is one in which a smaller amount of solute is dissolved in the solvent. Like if you put 1 spoon of salt or sugar in full glass of water. Next, we have concentrated solution. A concentrated solution is one in which a lot of solute is dissolved in the solvent. For example, 1 tablespoon of salt into 2 cups of water is more dilute than 3 tablespoons of salt in 2 cups of water. So it is called the concentrated solution. Concentrated solutions can be mixed with solvents to make dilute solutions. For example, fruit juice concentrates can be mixed with water to dilute them. Next type is saturated solution. A saturated solution is one that can dissolve no more solute at a fixed temperature. Examples of solutions and suspensions in our daily life solutions. Vinegar is a solution of acetic acid and water. Fizzy drinks like Coca-Cola are a mixture of carbon dioxide, gas water and sugar. Lemonade and washing liquid. Honey. Suspensions are blood, paint, fruit juices, ketchup, milk and some other inks. Add a spoonful of sugar to a beaker half full of water and stir it. Sugar is soluble in cold water. Keep on adding sugar to the solution and stirring it. Eventually no more sugar will dissolve in it. If extra sugar is added, it will not dissolve. It will sink to the bottom of the beaker. We say that the solution has become saturated. A solution in which no more solute can be dissolved is called saturated solution. Next, we have the topic of solubility. Solubility is measure of how much solute can be dissolved in 100 grams of a solvent at a given temperature to make a saturated solution. Different salts have different levels of solubility. So this figure shows mass of copper sulfate at different temperatures 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 and 70. Effects of temperature on solubility. The table below shows that the solubility of copper sulfate in water increases with temperature. So at 0 degrees temperature, the solubility of copper sulfate is 14 grams. At 10 degrees centigrade, it will be 17 grams. At 20 degrees centigrade, it will be 21 grams. So it increases with the temperature. Next, we have suspension. What is suspension? A suspension is a mixture in which the particles of the solute are not soluble in the solvent and can be seen floating in it. ऊपर तैरता हुआ आपको नजर आएगा और वो soluble नहीं होगा. That will be called a suspension. For example, if chalk is mixed with water, the particles of chalk will be seen floating in the water and the solvent will appear to be milky. If the particles of a solute are heavy and sink to the bottom of the solvent, they form a layer called sediment. Next, what is emulsion? When oil is added to water and shaken, it forms tiny droplets in the water, making a milky solution which is called an emulsion. Look at this figure. This figure is showing the emulsion when we add oil in the water. Next, what are different methods of separating mixtures? Number one is filtration, then evaporation, then crystallization. The components of a mixture can be separated easily using the following simple methods. Filtration. When a solution is passed through filter paper, the solid particles are left behind on the filter paper and clear liquid passes through it. This liquid is called the filtrate. Here we have the filter paper, here we have the solution, then solid particles settled here, and clear water will be in the beaker. Next, evaporation. If the solute is soluble in the solvent, it can be separated from the solvent by evaporating the solvent by heating the solution. When the solvent evaporates, the solid is left behind. So this process is called the evaporation process. By heating, the solution or liquid evaporates and the salt solution will remain behind. Next, we have the method of crystallization. When a solution is heated until most of the solvent evaporates, a saturated solution is left behind. The solution is then allowed to cool slowly so that crystals of the solid are formed. These crystals can be dried between folds of filter paper, and this process is called the crystallization because it forms the crystals. Distillation. This is a way of obtaining a pure solvent from a solution. Set up the apparatus as shown in the figure. Here we have the Bunsen burner. Here we have the round bottom flask. Then we have the fractionating column. Then we have thermometer. Water. Here we have the condenser. When water turns into steam, it goes on into these tubes and then into the condenser. It converts again into the pure form of water. The solution is heated in the flask, it boils and steams rises into the condenser. Salt is left behind. The condenser is cold. This condenser is cold, so the steam condenses into water inside it. The water drips into the beaker. It is completely pure and is called the distilled water. Next, we have paper chromatography. This method can be used to separate a mixture of colored substances such as those found in black ink. So here this experiment will show this. Experiment: put a small drop of black ink in the center of a piece of filter paper and allow it to dry. Add 3 or 4 more drops on the same spot. Add some water to the spot, one drop at a time. The ink spreads out, making colored rings on the paper. The number of rings indicates the number of different colored substances the ink contains. So here we have different dyes in the ink, black ink. Here we have the filter paper, ink spot, cuts. So this is an easy way to find out the different substances in the ink. Differences. What are the difference between a mixture and a compound? The particles of a mixture do not chemically combine with each other and can be separated by simple methods. So it is a mixture. However, the particles in a compound do combine chemically with each other and cannot be separated easily because a new substance is formed which is different from the substances that it was made from. So this is the main difference between mixture and compound. Mixture do not chemically combine, compound do combine chemically. For example, if we dissolve sugar in water, a mixture is formed, and we cannot separate sugar and water easily by crystallization. But if we burn paper or wood, carbon dioxide gas is produced and only ashes are left behind. So it is a main difference between mixture and compounds. Our next topic is about the compounds. When 2 or more atoms combine chemically with each other, they form a compound. For example, sodium and chlorine combine to form sodium chloride, which is a common salt, and we use it in our daily life, in our homes. Hydrogen and oxygen combine to form water, and carbon and oxygen combine to form carbon dioxide, which is present in our air. Next, we have formation of compounds. The forces which join atoms together are called chemical bonds. We have different types of chemical bonds. Ionic bond: when an atom loses or gives away an electron, it becomes a positively charged ion. On the other hand, when an atom gains or receives an electron, it becomes a negatively charged ion. If two atoms come close to each other, one of the atoms gives away one electron to the other and becomes positive ion, while the atom that receives the electron becomes a negative ion. So here we have sodium atom. It is transferring its one electron to chlorine atom. So sodium ion has positive charge because it is giving its one electron to chlorine, and chloride or chlorine ion has negative charge on it because it is gaining one electron from the sodium. So this type of bonding is called ionic bond. The electrostatic force that holds these ions together to form a compound is called ionic bond. We can take the example of sodium atom, which has one electron, and chlorine atom, which has 7 electrons in its outermost shell. The sodium atom gives away its electron to chlorine and becomes a positively charged ion. Yes, I told you in the above topic the same thing, and chlorine receives the electron and becomes a negatively charged ion. Together these ions form an ionic compound called sodium chloride. Next, what are the properties of ionic compounds? They are usually hard solids, they have high melting and boiling points, they are generally soluble in water in molten or solution form, they are good conductors of electricity. Next type is covalent bonding. What are covalent bonding? When atoms come close together and begin sharing electrons. When they share their electrons or a pair of electrons, a covalent bond is formed. For example, one oxygen atom shares a pair of electrons with two hydrogen atoms to form a molecule of water. What are the properties of covalent compounds? They exist in three states: solid, liquid, and gas. They do not conduct electricity. They have low melting and boiling point. They are volatile, that is, they evaporate easily. They are soluble in covalent solvents. Next, we have metallic type of bonding. Atoms in a metal are so tightly packed that their electrons overlap with each other and cannot be separated easily. This kind of bond or type of bond between the atoms of a metal is called a metallic bond. Such a bond can be found in copper, iron, and in different metals. Symbols, the chemical names of elements written in abbreviated form, are called the symbols. Usually the first letter of the or the first two letters of the name of the element are used. Sometimes the first two letters of the Latin or Greek names of the elements are used. So here we have the full table of symbols of some common elements. Carbon is C, nitrogen N, hydrogen H, oxygen O, sulfur S, like that. Next we have chemical formulas. The molecule of a substance written in symbols is called the chemical formula. Chemical formula of sodium chloride is NaCl, sodium hydroxide is NaOH, potassium hydroxide is KOH, carbon dioxide is CO2, water H2O, sugar C12H22O11, glucose C6H12O6, copper oxide CuO, copper sulfate CuSO4, ammonia NH3. So all these are the chemical formulas of different compounds. And in the last we have the solved exercise of our unit number 6, elements, mixture and compounds. You have to write all the question answers on your journals. Now question number 1, structure of an atom. An atom is made up of tiny particles called elements, called electrons, protons, and neutrons. Electrons are positively charged particles that revolve around the nucleus in a specific path called an orbit. Protons are positively charged particles found in the nucleus of an atom. Neutrons are neutral particles which are also present in the nucleus. The mass of the neutron is equal to the mass of a proton. An element is a substance that is made up of the same kind of atoms. For example, the element carbon is made up of carbon atoms only. So here we have the same tables as we just studied above. Next we have metals and non-metals. Part D. Metals are good conductors, shiny, solids, high melting and boiling point, can be drawn into wires and beaten into foil and plates. Non-metals are bad conductors, dull, solids, liquids, gases, no low melting boiling point, cannot be drawn into waters or beaten into foil and plates. In metals, the atoms are so tightly packed that the electrons overlap one another, forming metallic bonds. Look at part E, mixture. What is mixture? A mixture is not a pure substance. It is made up of two or more substances which are not chemically combined. For example, a mixture of sugar and salt. Types of solution: aqueous solution. And aqueous solution is a mixture of water and any substance that is solvent in it. For example, a solution of water and common salt or sugar. Dilute solution: a dilute solution is one in which a smaller amount of solute is dissolved in the solvent. Next, last, concentrated solution. A concentrated solution is one in which a lot of solute is dissolved in the solvent. For example, 1 tablespoon of salt in 2 cups of water is more dilute than 3 tablespoons of salt in 2 cups of water. Saturated solution. Saturated solution is one that can dissolve no more solute at a fixed temperature. Number G, separation of a mixture and salt. A mixture of salt and sand can be separated by adding water and then filtering in the solution. Sand will be left on the filter paper. The filtered solution is heated, the water evaporates and pure salt is left behind. Number H, a compound. When two or more atoms combine chemically, they form a compound. For example, hydrogen and oxygen combine chemically to form water, ionic bond. Next question is I. Answer is ionic bond. J, covalent bond. Next K question is about the table. You have to complete the table with the suitable words. Here we have the properties: physical state, melting point, conductor, solubility, type of bond between atoms. Ionic compounds are solid, high, good in water, and ionic. Covalent compounds: solid, liquid, gas, low, bad in covalent solvents, covalent between atoms. Next question: a solution which cannot dissolve any more solute at a fixed temperature. Next, we have the fill in the blanks. First, fill in the blanks. It will be atoms, proton in B, part C, electron, part D, atomic number, part E, mass number, part F, 2, part G, 8, H, chemical bond, I is positively, and J is covalent. You have to fill all these exercise work on your book. Complete the table. Here we have different columns: hydrogen, carbon, sodium, chlorine, oxygen. Symbols are these: number of protons, number of neutrons, electrons, their atomic numbers, and mass numbers. Choose the correct answer. Part A is an element. Part B is a bad conductor of heat and electricity. Part C, gas and gas. Part D is solute. Answer of part E is an emulsion. F, filtration. G, metals. H, metal. Next, last question, question number 5. Match the statements. Match number A, part A with is a pure substance. B is formed by a chemical reaction. Part C contains particles that are not chemically combined. Part D is passing a mixture through a filter paper. Part E is formed when oil and water are mixed. Part F is dissolved in a solvent. Part G is a layer formed by setting of particles at the bottom. Part H are good conductors of heat and electricity. So this is all for today. Thank you. Allah.